Toyota just confirmed something the truck world has been waiting years for, a compact pickup smaller than the Tacoma, and the internet has already nicknamed it the 2027 Stout. But before you believe every render and every spec floating around online, let's separate what Toyota has actually said from what's pure speculation. Welcome to Auto Insights, where we break down future cars, real updates, and everything you actually need to know without the confusion. If you want honest car content, make sure you're subscribed, because today we're digging deep into the 2027 Toyota Stout. Let's start with what's actually confirmed, because this is where a lot of channels blur the line. Toyota has confirmed real interest in launching a compact pickup, positioned below the Tacoma, aimed directly at the space the Ford Maverick and Hyundai Santa Cruz have been dominating. That part is real. What's not confirmed is almost everything else: the styling, the exact powertrains, the pricing, and the name itself. Stout is the name most reports are using because Toyota actually sold trucks under that badge decades ago, going all the way back to the 1950s, and reviving a heritage name like that would make a lot of sense for a company that knows nostalgia sells. But until Toyota puts that badge on a real truck, treat the name as a strong rumor, not a locked-in fact. So why is this happening now? Because the truck market changed. Full-size trucks have gotten massive, loaded with tech, and expensive enough that some trims now cross into six figures. That priced out a huge chunk of buyers, especially younger buyers, first-time truck owners, and people who simply don't need a truck that large. Ford noticed that gap first and the Maverick became a runaway success. Hyundai followed with the Santa Cruz. Now Toyota, a company that built its entire reputation on practical, reliable vehicles like the Corolla, RAV4 and Tacoma, appears ready to bring that same philosophy to the compact truck segment, and if they get it right, the impact could be massive. Now let's talk design, because this is where expectations are running highest. Most renderings circulating online show something that looks like a smaller Tacoma blended with modern Toyota SUV styling. A bold front grille, sharp LED headlights, muscular fenders, and aggressive wheel arches that give it real road presence without looking bulky. The side profile is expected to carry strong, sculpted body lines with an elevated ride height, giving it a confident stance whether it's parked on a city street or parked at a trailhead. The rear is expected to stay simple and functional, with a compact bed sized for weekend gear, small hauling jobs, and daily utility rather than construction site duty. One of the most important design decisions Toyota is reportedly considering is the platform itself. Instead of a traditional body-on-frame setup like the Tacoma, there's a real chance the Stout uses a unibody platform, similar to what Ford did with the Maverick. That matters more than it sounds, because unibody construction tends to be lighter, more fuel efficient, more comfortable on daily drives, and cheaper to produce. It's exactly why the Maverick rides more like a crossover than a traditional truck, and a lot of buyers actually prefer that trade-off, especially people who only need truck capability occasionally. It's worth noting that going unibody would also be a real departure for Toyota's truck lineup, which has always leaned on rugged body-on-frame construction, so this alone tells you how seriously Toyota is targeting daily drivers over hardcore truck buyers with this model. Inside the cabin, expect a heavily digital environment, a large touchscreen infotainment system, a digital instrument cluster, wireless smartphone integration, over-the-air software updates, and a clean, driver-focused layout that feels closer to a premium SUV than a stripped-down work truck. Storage is expected to be a strong point too, with smart cubbies around the console and doors giving daily drivers plenty of places to organize their stuff without clutter. Now for performance, and this is where we need to slow down, because the numbers being reported are surprisingly specific for a truck that isn't officially revealed yet. Multiple reports point toward a hybrid-only lineup, meaning there might not even be a gas-only version at all. The standard setup is rumored to pair a 2.5-liter gas engine with an electric assist motor, producing somewhere around 220 horsepower. With combined fuel economy estimates in the low 40 miles per gallon range, some reports say around 42 city and 40 highway, which would be genuinely exceptional for any pickup truck on sale today. On top of that, there's talk of a plug-in hybrid option aimed at buyers who want strong weekday efficiency with weekend power, with output climbing toward 320 horsepower and roughly 40 miles of electric, only range before the gas engine even needs to kick in. Again, none of these numbers are officially confirmed by Toyota, but if they land anywhere close to accurate, this could be one of the most fuel-efficient pickups ever sold in North America. Skipping a traditional gas-only engine entirely would be a bold move for Toyota, but it actually fits their pattern. This is a company that made hybrids mainstream with the Prius, turned the RAV4 hybrid into one of its best-selling models, and has been steadily rolling hybrid powertrains across nearly its entire lineup. Betting on hybrid only for a new compact truck isn't reckless for Toyota. It's consistent with everything they've done for the last decade. And from a buyer's perspective, that consistency matters, because Toyota's hybrid systems have built a track record of holding up over hundreds of thousands of miles, which is exactly the kind of reassurance a first-time truck buyer wants to hear. On towing and payload, official numbers haven't been released, and honestly, they might not be the headline feature here anyway. Expectations point toward capabilities suited for recreational towing, small trailers, boats, and weekend gear, rather than heavy-duty jobs. That's intentional. The entire appeal of this segment is capability without the size, weight, and fuel costs of a full-size truck, and Toyota understands that better than almost anyone. Off-road capability is also worth mentioning, because even a unibody compact truck doesn't have to be soft. Toyota has decades of off-road credibility through the Tacoma and 4Runner, and reports suggest a TRD-flavored trim could bring tougher suspension tuning, underbody skid plates, and a bit of extra ground clearance. It won't be a rock crawler, but for buyers who occasionally want to leave the pavement, that little bit of extra toughness could make a real difference. Now let's talk price, because the numbers here are genuinely surprising. Some reports put the starting price as low as $26,000, while others estimate a range closer to $30,000 for the base model. Either way, that would undercut both the Maverick and Santa Cruz in most configurations, which is a bold pricing strategy if Toyota can actually deliver it without cutting corners. Higher trims with all-wheel drive, the plug-in hybrid setup, premium tech and TRD off-road packages could climb well past $40,000, giving buyers a wide spread of configurations depending on budget and lifestyle. If that starting price holds up, it wouldn't just compete with other compact trucks, it could tempt buyers who were originally shopping for a compact SUV instead. Let's talk timing and competition, because this segment is about to get a lot more crowded. The Maverick already proved the demand is real. The Santa Cruz carved out its own loyal following. And now there are rumors of a Ram Rampage, a revived Chevy El Camino nameplate, and even Subaru reportedly working on something in this space too. Toyota is arriving a little later than some of these rivals, but that timing might actually work in their favor, late enough to study what worked and what didn't for competitors, early enough to still set the tone before the segment gets fully saturated. Dealer markups are also worth keeping an eye on. Whenever a hyped, heritage-named truck launches with limited early supply, some dealers tack on market adjustment pricing above sticker. So if the Stout generates the buzz people expect, patience in the first few months after launch could genuinely save buyers real money. Quick question for you before we go further. Would you actually consider a hybrid-only compact truck over a traditional gas-powered one? And does a starting price around $26,000 to $30,000 sound realistic to you, or overly optimistic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Here's the catch though, the part most videos gloss over. Pricing this truck too close to the Tacoma could backfire badly. If the gap between the Stout and Tacoma shrinks too much, buyers might just stretch their budget for the larger, more capable truck instead, which would eat into Stout sales before it even gets going. There's also a profitability question. Smaller vehicles typically carry thinner margins, and building a genuinely affordable hybrid truck at scale isn't easy, even for a company as efficient as Toyota. Getting the pricing and positioning exactly right will be the difference between the Stout becoming a genuine phenomenon, or just another compact truck fighting for scraps in a crowded market. And if rivals like the Rampage or a revived El Camino launch first with aggressive pricing of their own, Toyota could lose the first-mover advantage even with a genuinely superior product underneath. So here's our honest take. If Toyota delivers close to what's being reported, a hybrid-only lineup with genuinely impressive fuel economy, a starting price that undercuts the Maverick, and the reliability reputation Toyota is famous for, the Stout could become one of the most important truck launches of the decade. The name has real history, the market timing lines up almost perfectly, and Toyota's brand trust is something no competitor can simply copy overnight. But until Toyota drops official specs, official pricing, and an actual reveal date, everything here remains a strong, supported possibility, not a guarantee, and we think it matters that you hear that clearly instead of getting swept up in the hype. So, would you pick a hybrid-only Toyota Stout over the Maverick or Santa Cruz, or are you holding out to see what Ram and Chevy bring to the table first? Subscribe to Auto Insights if you want honest updates, real leaks, and future car breakdowns without the confusion. Thanks for watching Auto Insights, and we'll see you in the next drive.